Ravichandran Ashwin is one of those cricketers who's never really been afraid to voice his opinion on a lot of things. Perhaps that's why he's so successful as a YouTube personality as well. However, in one of his recent live chats, he ended up stirring a hornet's nest that had been buzzing for quite some time but now has the potential to explode and, let's say, become quite the thing on social media, which, truth be told, it already has. Why? Because it would appear that Ashwin has cast aspersions over the legality of the action of Kolkata Knight Riders all-rounder Sunil Narine. Now, if this sounds like we're retreading old ground, then, well, yes, of course it is. But why exactly is it that Ashwin has chosen now of all times to talk about this particular incident? And why is it that I say it's Narayane's various well-documented past failings, but also due to Ashwin himself making no bones about the fact that he himself perhaps could have gained more of an advantage if he was flexing his arm a little more. That's what we're going to be discussing in this particular video. But before we go through everything else, let's address the first point, what it is that Ashwin had said. Well, he said it because someone asked him a question about how it is that in this edition of the IPL, you've seen bowlers get hit, but Bumrah and Narine have both managed to, let's say, evade the particular, let's say, inevitable fate so far. And his response was interesting to say the least. He said that, look, Jasprit Bumrah has one unique point. What is that unique point? He has a distinct advantage due to his release point. But then he went on to add and said that I won't talk about Sunil Narine because that is wrong according to my policy. Now, again, it's a loose translation, and I believe what it is that Ashwin was trying to say is that he will not talk about Narine because it goes against his own policy. But why exactly would it go against Ashwin's own policy? I mean, it's well known at the fact at this point that Ashwin has more often than not spoken about, let's say, at one point he was misquoted by many media reports where he said that he'd called for a relaxation in the flexing rules. And he said, no, I've said no such thing. I think I feel bad for players who end up getting targeted in this regard, but I've never asked for the ICC to relax their rules. In fact, Ashwin went one step further in 2014. Why? Because he turned up in a game in the Asia Cup wearing full sleeve t-shirt, which in itself is a bit of a red flag because it's a well-known fact that many players, including a Sunil whose action has been suspect in the past, have worn full sleeve t-shirts to conceal the degree of the flex that they have. Now, Sunil Narine has worn those. You've seen a Saeed Ajmal wear those. So it was something that definitely caught eyes, but what caught even more eyes after that was Ashwin then bowling, mimicking essentially Sunil Narine's action. And this happened all the way back in 2014, and that's a key year because 2014 was one of the first times that Narine's action was reported as illegal, and he was even banned from bowling in that year's edition of the final in the Champions League T20. Now, why exactly did Ashwin do what he did? Was it a pointed dig? It would clearly seem so, because this is what he said in an interview when he was asked about his reasons. He said, listen, I wanted to try something different. I had never bowled in full sleeves before, and you can get a lot of advantage. So why should I lag behind if others get an edge? When he says you can get a lot of advantage, is because Ashwin, his own action has usually been very straight arm. When you watch an Ashwin bowl, his arm does not really flex. But in the law, in the letters of the law, when it comes to the game, off spinners are allowed a 15-degree flex. That much is allowed. So I always find it amusing when you'll see fans post pictures of an off spinner flexing his arm ever so slightly and saying, look at him, he's chucking. You are allowed a 15-degree flex. That is within the rules, and it doesn't make it cheating because, as Ashwin himself has said in the past, it's not that easy developing that action, and especially in the modern day game, it's very tough being a bowler in white ball cricket to bowl off spin and not flex your arm a little bit because you have much flatter conditions, bigger bats. You need to do something to kind of get an advantage, but that doesn't mean he's called for, let's say, the rule being relaxed. However, my real question is this something that was really necessary? He could have just said, yeah, he's bowling really well too. Why is it that aspersions are being cast over the action of Sunil Narine at a time when he's suddenly enjoying success? And whilst I may add, as you can see in this picture, is bowling very much with only half sleeve t-shirts. He's no longer wearing full sleeves at this point in time. He's wearing half sleeve t-shirts. There's no problems in that regard whatsoever. So why is it that an Ashwin is going out of the way to cast aspersions on the legality of his actions? And if he is indeed doing that, then surely that's a massive failure on the behalf of a lot of umpires who would have been watching Narine bowl in multiple games but have not reported his action as being suspect yet. That can only mean two things. Either the umpires are inept to the next level, or there really is nothing wrong with his action, and all of this is nothing more than a storm in a teacup. But what are your thoughts on the entire matter? You can let us know that in the comments below, and don't forget to like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the channel, tap the bell icon, follow us on social media. We're on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Don't forget to download the SportsTech app, and if you're already on the channel, go ahead, check out some other videos we've done as well. For now, from my side though, it is goodbye.